Wow. Wow, wow, wow. First of all, what's going on, guys? Luke is gonna be in here in a second. We're gonna have SloMo up in here in a second, and we definitely want to talk about everything that just basically happened today. You know, Xbox almost going full third party on us, and you know, still nothing, still haven't said anything. So we're just waiting to see exactly what's gonna happen there. But I just wanted to go live to let you guys holler in for a second. Waiting for some of the homies to come through. There she is. What's what what up? What up? What up? Can hear you. Yeah, he on his way. He's up here in like 5 minutes. Luca, Luca, Luca. Is that what did you? Jesus. So kind of crazy when you sit there, you think about it. Luca.
Yes?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Oh
eating
no,
my
no, no.
apple.
I was just making sure because it wasn't showing any what's the name. So shout out to you. Shout out to Luca. We're live. SloMo should be here in a minute.
Oh, sweet. What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys? We're gonna let everybody file up in here. You know, we're gonna do it on a small channel because we definitely need to grow this thing. So, you know, what a good chance to actually, come out with some stuff that the whole world that just got set on fire. Luca, the world is on fire.
It's pretty bad, dude. Like, I am definitely taking the opportunity to crack as many jokes as I can. Um, I man, man, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know it's especially after me and you and Singer we put up a good
You
fight.
put up a good fight the
We
other
put up
day.
a good
Not
fight the
even
other day.
24 hours ago.
Not even 24 hours later, and then we get this news that Xbox may be planning on putting more of their titles on PlayStation.
But
And
Luca,
so,
yeah.
completely backtracking on the whole, our games will show up on platforms for Game Passes. As far as I know, Game Pass isn't on PlayStation, so what's up?
Ooh, man, there's emergency sessions going on right now everywhere. Redmond's on fire. Xbox ain't said nothing. What's the chances we gonna wake? So, do you think we're gonna wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and Xbox Wire is gonna have some type of announcement out there, or do you think they're gonna let this linger for a whole day or
Honestly
longer?
speaking, they need to come out and say something.
Oh, this
I
is
mean, that
bad.
listen, they can at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want, right? At the end of the
Facts.
day, if this was, like, affecting their stock prices, then, of course, they would expeditiously would be out there saying something. But as it stands right now, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're gonna come out and say something. I would like them to come out and say something. I think that they should, but I don't know if they will.
Yeah, honestly, it mostly just comes back to what did you expect was going to happen? Not like now the fight that we were putting up yesterday was more based on Hi-Fi Rush and Grounded and Sea of Thieves, like games that's been out for a while now, or well, not Hi-Fi Rush, but not the really big games and stuff. It's like, okay, if somebody else gets to play those games, that's fine. But then, we all say it's like, but if you talk about like Starfield, Halo, Forza, the games that people literally went out and bought an Xbox for, it's kind of like a different conversation. And Lord behold, man, it seems like this conversation is mostly being driven by the board, people outside of the Xbox, with the exception of Tim Stewart, who everybody like people been telling this man to shut up for months, Luca, ever since he started talking about putting games third party and everything. And listen, man, he's been greasing the wheels all winter, basically getting all these executives, all these board members to come out and say, yo, yeah, we definitely need to put our games in more places because these financials ain't getting no better. Game Pass is flatlined. We're not seeing any real growth there. Our console sales are abysmal. We got ABK. We just acquired them. See, Xbox is now the third biggest entity inside of Microsoft, but console sales is only up 3% when the rest of it is up by 61%. So what are we really doing here? And I'm like, yo, but you ain't even let the plan finish itself out. It's like Xbox has finally gotten to a point where we can start seeing the games come out. I still blame Xbox for allowing it to get as bad as it's gotten, because you're talking about five to 10 years of just mediocrity when it comes to like first party titles. Yeah, they came out with them. Yeah, there were a couple of good ones in there, some bangers in there, but nothing to make a person feel like, oh man, I have to have an Xbox. And even then, you really didn't, because most of those games were on PC too. So it was kind of like a
Mhm.
double-edged sword. So it's like, yeah, if I don't have to have your system, if you happen to come out with a good one, like think about it, Starfield, biggest IP they released in over a decade, but you can play it on PC. So where did it sell more on Luca? PC. 10 million people within the first week on PC. None of that with the Xbox. It didn't help grow the Xbox division. They didn't come out with any numbers for Game Pass saying that it even grew Game Pass. So at this point, it's like, what are we expecting? I just never expected them to come out and say,
Well, I mean,
or
they haven't
they didn't say, they
officially,
haven't. Yeah, right. They
but
haven't
no.
officially said themselves, but
And the thing
it's
of it is, I feel like you and I have been very like, it is what it is. Like, okay,
right,
like they don't care about the hardware. Like we've been saying, like I don't think they care about the hardware at this point. It's kind of like whatever,
right.
for quite some time now, especially since like as soon as they started putting their games on PC day and date, I'm like, yeah, they definitely don't care. But like this is like a different level. This is a different kind of hit. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just kind of like, okay, it's one thing to put your titles on PC. It's one thing to put smaller titles on like the Switch. But putting your triple A's on fucking PlayStation, are you joking? Like, are you serious right now? Like, come on, man.
Mm, Luca, I it feels so long ago where I was playing on PC and I made the decision saying, you know what? And the thing is, I was always going to buy it. It was just kind of like hyperbole. It's like I was just upset that Xbox wasn't giving us the experiences that we wanted. So I was like, hey, I'm just gonna. I probably won't buy the next Xbox, even though I knew I most likely was. But then I got the olive branch from Bungie by saying what they were gonna do, and I was like, yeah, I got to go back. My friends are over there too. The excuse of being not playing that 60 frames per second is about to disappear, so I can't be a hypocrite. I have to go back. So I went back, and I told you, Luca, and I told Taz, Xbox was never the reason I came back to Xbox. It took Bungie to get me to come back. So even in 2018, it still wasn't Xbox that got people to come back to their platform. They were relying on other entities, other third parties to do stuff in their games to get people to want to stay on Xbox. And
And
I
that's
also
like, I
go
mean,
ahead.
that's true. It's like for a very long time, and of course, I mean, we're part of the issue, right? Like, we are definitely part of the
Yes.
problem for not being, I guess, angrier about all of this. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, man, what is my anger gonna do? Nothing. I'm not like a pure Xbox enthusiast like others are, you know? I save that for the people who are genuine in their emotion and feel strongly about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who are the ones who play on Xbox, been playing on Xbox since they were in diapers, since, Xbox Live beta testers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I save it for those guys, you know? But, like, at the same time, I'm just kinda like, "Oh, man." It's the their messaging, and we've been saying this for a long time now, their messaging and their marketing is just off. It's so off, and I don't know how they expect consumers to wanna invest in them and their platform, and by platform, I'm not just talking about the box in itself, I'm talking about Xbox as a whole, if they cannot be honest with us and if they are constantly contradicting themselves. Like, I'm not putting my money into I'm not gonna invest my money into a company that doesn't seem to know what they're doing.
Mm. So the question ultimately comes back to why now? Like why after you made all of these different purchases, back in 2018, why after you finally get, you know, Cinemac Bethesda underneath your umbrella, why right after you get Call of Duty inside of your ecosystem when it comes to you'll be able to market that game next year, why make this decision now instead of being patient and waiting to see what happens next year? Because it's the thing, you can always make this decision can happen next year, it can happen in 2 years, it can always happen. But what can't what the chance that the thing that you're giving a chance to not happen is people sticking with you, because when you make a decision like this, people literally start making business decisions. Shout out to people in the community we talk to. They talking about how they got friends and stuff, or people that they know DMing them and asking them like, what should I do? Should I like should I stay in the ecosystem? Should I even, buy games on Xbox anymore? Should I support this? Should I just, what about all these games that I own on the platform? People are starting to have wild thoughts about what's going on with Xbox. And I think a little bit of it's just, a little over the top, because nothing's changing per se right now. You're not going to lose access to your digital library. Xbox isn't disappearing off the face of the earth. They're not gonna not support the platforms that you already have. They already greenlit, and it's come from multiple sources. They already greenlit the next Xbox, so you don't even have to really worry about that for the time being.
Mm,
Now, I
mm,
mean that's a good.
mm,
You're right. You know what, Luke? I already know where you're going,
because
because
them
guess what?
say listen,
They
go ahead,
could.
go ahead.
No, no, you're right. No, I want you to go because you were about to say it. So go ahead.
Because listen, them greenlighting doesn't mean shit because they also
True.
said that they're not putting their games on platforms that don't have fucking Game Pass. So it's like anything that comes out of their mouth at this point, like them saying like, "Yeah, yeah, we've greenlit the next Xbox." Okay, we know that now. Who's to say and who's to stop them from changing their mind and being like, "Actually, we're not coming out with another one."
Right. Yeah, I mean, whew, and that would be a whole nother story right there. But the biggest thing, it just ultimately, it really just truly comes back to you don't have to panic right now. So people that are panicking about their libraries, about the support that they're giving to Xbox, you don't really have to worry about that right now. Now, if you choose not to support Xbox going forward by buying games on the platform, nobody can blame you, because you know what? Xbox hasn't given you a reason not to do it. They haven't come out and said, "Oh, this is what we're going to be doing. This is what the plans are. This is what Indiana Jones, the plans for that's going to be. This is what the plans for games like Starfield or Hellblade or Forza Horizon 5. These are the plans we have for those games." You know, it's like, let me ask you, do you think this would be as bad if it was just a situation where the games came out, they still do the same thing that they're doing, but they say, hey, the plan is first on Xbox, day and day on Xbox Game Pass, still first on Xbox, with the possibility of games going to other platforms within a year to a year and a half after launch. Do you
Listen,
think the do
oh,
you think
my
what do you think
stomach
it would
hurts.
be?
Oh,
Oh,
my
she said,
stomach hurts.
uh-oh.
I'm disgusted. I'm so fucking disgusted right now.
Why was
Just
that?
even the thought of those titles going to PlayStation disgusts me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Oh,
I
Luca,
think
that
that
probably would have. Queen Xbox would have
listen,
probably thought that was
think them
disgusting.
putting their games on PlayStation is fucking stupid in the first place. I think it's dumb.
Facts. It
Okay?
is
I
dumb.
think it's really dumb, especially since there's not any real reciprocity. Like if PlayStation was putting titles on Xbox, I'd be like, okay, please put Bloodborne on Xbox so I can get that goddamn FPS boost, so I can finally have Bloodborne at 60 FPS. Please, okay? I'm sick of this shit, man. But like the fact that they're putting their games on PlayStation is just like completely baffling to me. Does not make any sense to me, and I think it's really short-sighted, like, they shoulda did this before they spent all that money on those acquisitions. Like, what was the point of
Yeah.
them buying those companies? What was the point? I thought
They
it
were
was to
already third
bolster their
party.
exclusives, you know?
Facts. That's a good point. It's like, but and I'm gonna talk about that too, because it was I listened to some of the podcasts and some people made some really good points about that. Shout out to Face 23 BKY says Microsoft will make consoles. Xbox will be the first to go all digital this year. All Xbox games are coming to PlayStation and Nintendo. Jim Ryan retiring on a high note. Yo, remember when we were giving Jim Ryan everything, and I kept telling like Jim Ryan's fine. That man is literally tired. I believe he's leaving on his own. No, he's signing multi-million-dollar deals for PlayStation, even knowing everybody know he's retiring. And everybody was calling him a fraud and Ryan lying. And
And
guess
I
what?
don't
But his
know why they were
platform's
calling him a
fine.
fraud for leaving.
Right.
Like, I listen, as someone who's traveled across not the world, but across the country and stuff, that shit is fucking exhausting. So
Yeah.
it's like, and he's old as well. Like, oh my God, that shit was probably beating his ass, dude. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
So I completely believed him when he said that it's
I
just
did
tough
too.
on his body. Like, I know other people didn't, but I shouldn't. It's really rough, dude.
Yeah, it's rough. And guess what? Guess what else is rough? The fact that his platform is going to be standing at the end of all this when it comes to like the
Mhm.
narrative of what's going on. Whereas Xbox, I mean, depending on what they say in the next 24 to 48 hours, gonna be a completely different conversation. So Sam Walton says the nuclear bomb has been dropped, shaking my head. God's hand says all digital bees, you own nothing. And listen, I try to tell people that for a while now. It's like the biggest thing with Xbox, they did themselves a couple of disservices. They did a disservice by not having any first party studios for literally half of last generation at the beginning of it. They
Mhm.
did themselves a very bad disservice when it comes to first party games and having a conversation around what it means to own an Xbox, because everybody that was owning an Xbox after 2015 was doing it by the grace of God that they actually just liked the platform. It wasn't because you were playing games that you really cared about. You bought it because your friends, and you bought it because you were playing, third party games on that system, because first party was pretty much non existent outside of the one or two you got over a 3 to 4 year period. And then they did themselves another disservice by hyping everybody up in 2018 with all of these studios that they purchased, knowing that these studios weren't going to be releasing no games no time soon, because every last one, I remember vividly, every studio that they announced that they purchased in 2018, they all released the game within a year of that time. And they were all under other situations when it comes to making sure that they had to honor their other agreements and stuff. And it was nothing that Xbox was going to get from themselves. So then you get hit with COVID. That just killed everything for like a year to 2 years in development cycle. And now you finally, Luca, get to the point where you're about to start releasing a bunch of games. Like this year, they had like 4 first-party games coming out.
Mhm.
Some really good ones too that people were looking
Some
forward
good
to.
positive energy. Like people were enjoyed the Xbox Direct. It was positive news, and now all this stuff starts leaking. They first of all, they need to get a handle on the leaks. That's the first thing I want to say. Like this is super bad PR, man.
And but it's like, where does it stop? where where does it's like, right? It seems like like you said, every time they get a chance to take a step forward, they take a major step back. And it's always in the messaging department. What is up with Xbox and messaging? What is up with dude, you're not even $1 trillion company. You're a $3 trillion company. You are the most wealthiest company in the freaking world. You got lawyers that will run circles around people. You can literally wipe your ass with dollar bills and never run out of them. But you can't talk to your own player base. You can't talk to your community and tell them what's up. It's like, look at I work, like you work, you work in the office setting and stuff. You know what it's like to, people work for people. They don't work for corporations. It's like the biggest thing that these companies don't realize is it seems like they forget the ones that you need to be paying the most attention to is the people that pay your bills.
Mhm.
It's like the people that you're pissing off right now are the people that pay your bills. Like just because they're Xbox fans don't mean they don't support other Microsoft things. This is the type of stuff that make them just not support Microsoft. I know people that can't stand Apple. They will not buy anything Apple. But guess what? There's enough people out there that do buy Apple that offsets it so it doesn't really hurt them. That's why they could be the second richest company in the world. And that's kind of what's going on with Xbox right now. But this is how you damage and destroy, like SloMo was saying. I hate saying SloMo was right because his whole argument was a whole bunch of fallacies. But the thing that he said,
Exactly.
yeah,
Get
his
him.
argument,
Exactly.
his argument was a bunch.
Don't give me backhanded compliments.
You just
Don't
got
give me
here.
backhanded
You just got
compliments.
here. Hold on. You just got here.
I was
You
right.
came here late.
Just say I was right and leave it at that.
You were right. I am not saying you're not right. I'm just saying the thing that everybody just swear, dude, the fact that they're putting first part, like their big games over there is like, dude, come on now. Nobody had a problem with Hi-Fi Rush. Nobody had a problem with Grounded and Sea of Thieves because those aren't the reasons you bought an Xbox. But you bought it. There's people that literally went out and bought an Xbox in September last year, not even 6 months ago, for a first-party game called Starfield because you said it's only going to be exclusive on Xbox. So that's where the problem is. That's the rub.
I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Ain't no way in the world you come to this decision right after closing ABK, and this wasn't something that was in the works.
It's been in the works for a long time.
Whether Phil knew it was in the works or not, the other parts of Microsoft, they are pushing for this. They may have approved of $70 billion, the biggest acquisition in Microsoft history, for the reasons that Phil thought they were approving it for. But on the back end, they were thinking something different. I refuse to believe that you acquire all these studios. You acquire ZeniMax Media. You acquired 15 studios for Xbox Game Studios before that. Do you acquire ABK? All the while, what's the energy they've been telling us? We did this for Xbox gamers. We did this to bring more content to Game Pass, to the platform. None of that talk was putting Starfield on PlayStation. None of that talk was putting Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation. None of that talk was talking about Gears on PlayStation. Yet here we are. They made this decision, and Tim Stewart and the rest of them were like, "Sure, Phil, this is great. $70 billion. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that." And as the year and a half went on of them working with regulators and trying to get it happen and making compromises here and there, they knew what was up. And for them to, as soon as they finish this, as soon as they get this acquisition done, before the games come out to prove it works, before the games can come out on Xbox to convince people, hey, I really wanted to play Starfield and I really wanted to play Hellblade. And I see this Avowed looks good. And damn, look at that Fable. Maybe I need to get an Xbox. Before you did any of that, you said, nah, you don't need an Xbox. We'll bring the
SloMo,
games to you.
would you say that Phil Spencer trained with the Bene Gesserit? Would you say that he is the Kwisatz Haderach? Would you
Oh
call him
man.
Phil Atreides? The false
Yo.
prophet?
Oh
Would
man.
you call him that?
Oh, so you telling me he can use the voice?
He clearly has been using the voice on us for years now, man.
He must have. He must have been using the voice all this time to get people to like he just convince you anything. He just like we should have been watching his press conferences with earplugs in and just got the closed caption up so we don't hear the voice, man. Because it's just like wow. Like I mean, for them to flip it the way they have, like I think. And I say this sincerely. I said it yesterday on Scumcast. I said it earlier today on IOP. The people who are making these decisions don't understand brands, and they don't understand how gaming works. Like you just like these kind of decisions is the kind of decisions that like Epic Game Store makes when they think they can make a storefront on PC and convince people to leave Steam for Epic Game Store. It makes all the sense in the world. We're giving you free games, free quality AAA games. We're taking good games and making them, and we're paying the developer and publisher a bag to keep it exclusive for 6 months a year. You still not buying our games? You can't take strictly just data and metrics and say, hey, well, the metrics say everybody's down for this. The metrics say everybody, we could put our games over there and we could take all those people that are like 3 times the Xbox ecosystem and think about the number of people we got to buy the game here. We could do that there and make so much. It doesn't work that way. You can't in a vacuum make that kind of decision and don't think that it's not going to have negative effects on the bread and butter of your platform. The majority of the revenue that they generate still comes from Xbox. How do you think this kind of decision is going to play? You're trying to launch a new hardware soon. When you launch a new hardware with your current hardware not selling as good as the previous generation's hardware, which you admitted was a massive L. What do you think after your games are coming to PlayStation, how your new Xbox is going to do? When you have the gamers have the choice in front of themselves, brand new gamers as well as gamers that, are carrying over from previous generations. And I got an Xbox with, a lot of first party content here. Okay. And I got a PlayStation with a lot of first party content here and looks like a significant number of their content as well. Whether they get one console or 2 consoles, that first console they buy is going to be a what? A PlayStation. And it was going to be a PlayStation before today. Well, before they started doing this stuff, it is 1,000% going to remain a PlayStation after this because you're just giving them zero reason to go check your platform out. So, look, if I was in that leadership and I'm against this and they're going to push it forward with it anyway, I'm out of here, man. Take my money, take my stock options, go retire.
I think honestly, if the rumors are true that this is more board driven than Xbox driven, and Xbox, the Xbox leadership can't find a way to get this reversed. Yeah, at that point, I wouldn't, because I'm not going to be the one that's going to go out there and tell these people that, because like I said yesterday, it aged like spoiled milk. I said that I said that Sarah Bond, that's a big girl. She can go out there and handle her stuff. They pay her a lot of money to do it. But guess what? They ain't paying her enough money to go do this. This ain't got nothing to do with them. It seems like this is a Microsoft driven agenda headed by Tim Stewart and all the crap he's been talking online for the last 6 to 7 months about games going in other places and about the stagnation of services and stuff. And the thing is, that might all be true. That all might be true. But you didn't give it a chance to mature after you already got everything. It's like, dog, you literally just saw. It's like they don't even know. It's like it's just like I said earlier. People don't even know what they said last week. Microsoft don't even know what happened a decade ago when they had Call of Duty as the premier game on their platform, where they had the marketing rights, they had the highest selling system. Well, not the highest selling. They were one of the highest selling systems during that generation. They actually were outselling the PS4. Oh, well, they were outselling. It was like neck and neck for the first year because they still had Call of Duty rights for Call of Duty Ghosts that year. It really didn't flip to the next year when PlayStation got the marketing rights. So they even got data to show that if Call of Duty is something that's on your platform and you could talk about it more than the other person, you're going to probably grow your sales just off that alone. So they didn't even give that a chance, and you got the data for it.
Right.
Dude, I don't even work there, and I know this. I know this because I pay attention. So you telling me people that make millions and millions and got stock options for hundreds of millions of dollars can't see the same thing? No, they want to make as much money now because it seems like it's corporate greed at hand instead of trying to look out for the people or at least giving a platform a chance to mature that you put all this money behind.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If they don't address this week, it's already looking suspect that this information came out from Nate the Hate like earlier, like a month ago, and they said nothing. Okay, so look, you got people saying, and someone who's credibly leaked things before saying you're putting your games on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. You say nothing. Then you starting to get people who work for you speaking out on things. Then you starting to get other news outlets talking about all the games that you are working on putting on other platforms, and you still say nothing.
Yeah,
that's incompetence. I mean, I don't want to use. I don't like using that word, and I don't take it lightly. But clearly, you are so disorganized that you can't just come out with a statement. Is it that that much chaos going on behind the scenes that you can't come out with a statement and definitively say yay or nay on this? Luke is right.
Yeah.
Why is it always you with these leaks? We don't hear crap about what's going on with Nintendo.
That's because they probably have some crazy NDAs.
Yeah, they probably got some ridiculous NDAs.
And it's Nintendo. Yeah. It's Nintendo. You leak something from Nintendo, more than likely you gonna end up in a ditch somewhere. Just saying. Like you gonna end up in a ditch, and your family gonna be in indentured service for the rest of their lives. Like that's how it's going to be with Nintendo. So they people too scared. But even when PlayStation has leaks, it's like stuff that leaks from PlayStation is like, yeah, they were thinking about doing XYZ like a year ago. This is stuff that's planned for the future with Xbox. And you still can't get ahead of this and set the record straight. Bear in mind, there's nothing you can say where the end result is we're putting our games on PlayStation. That's going to make it right with the Xbox community. I think the people who are on the other side, the side of common sense, understand that. There's just no way to phrase a statement to try to gaslight or a community or convince a community, try to persuade a community to believing that this is good for you. How? When you're putting your games over there, that signals to third-party developers and publishers you don't even believe in your own platform.
Mm-hmm.
So why should I put my games on your platform when you put your games on PlayStation 2? I'm just going to go over there and save myself the time and resources. while you just got Sega to come around, while you're working on get Square Enix to come around. How are Xbox only gamers supposed to feel when they already couldn't get Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and the other one, and then now they're about to get even less of that. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is amazing. I played it on PC. It's awesome. Is it on Xbox? No, it's not. You're gonna get more of that. And as more Xbox gamers start to see where they're missing out on the Xbox platform, that's a slow erosion. It's not gonna be noticeable right away, but give it another year, and then another year, and they're gonna be looking like, wow, I mean, I don't understand that we're not growing in any way, shape, or form. You got freaking Amy Hood out here. They get their financial reports out, only 3% growth on Xbox hardware. That's disappointing. Your marketing tells people you don't need an Xbox. How are you disappointed? You've been telling people this for years. So they said, all right, I don't need an Xbox, thanks. Oh, I'm disappointed no one's buying Xboxes. Hello? It's crazy that like people, the regular consumer, can see this, but the people who get, as Forte said, the people who get paid millions of dollars to make these decisions don't understand how this is going to work out. And they should know better, considering they're the ones that are dealing with this lack of content, lack of third-party support. How many developers and publishers you think are going to put their games day one in Game Pass after, you pretty much proven that you don't believe in your platform either? It's been more than a year since you updated us on Game Pass subscription numbers. How's that going? This is
so the biggest problem
go ahead, man.
so the biggest problem I have is I love Gregor. Shout out to Gregor. He says, how long would Microsoft have to wait though? Another decade for a Tahoe RPG, another decade for a Diablo, the biggest games make the most money on PC and PlayStation and COD. The only thing I'm gonna fight back on that is because you're right, but it's incomplete. The reason it's incomplete is because Xbox, this is the first time that they actually had a chance with a bunch of games that's coming out to see if the needle would move. Because you weren't here earlier, but I said this with Luca before we first started the stream. They could have made this decision at any time. This decision didn't have to be made right now. This decision could have been made a year from now. It could be made 2 years from now. It could be made at the very end of the generation. When the next generation comes around, they let everybody know that this is the plan going forward. But the fact that they are making a decision right at this moment, it seems like at least rumored to be at this moment, lets us know that they're not even giving it a chance to even try. It's like they're giving up completely before any of the stuff releases. If they would have came out and said like, yo, none of these games, if they would have come out in their financial calls of next year in 2025 and talked about how numbers for their Xbox division still were stagnant, they were only seeing 4 to 5% growth every quarter, then you know what? I can understand where they're coming from, because even if they had games, it didn't move the needle. But you ain't even give that a chance, dog. It ain't even get a chance. And that's what's upsetting to me about it, because I was a person that was telling people like this isn't a big deal yesterday, because the games that they were talking about aren't games that move the needle. Nobody's going out looking for Hi-Fi Rush. Nobody's looking for Grounded. If they were looking for them, guess what? They already played them months and years ago when they first came out. But these are games that people literally bought consoles for. I literally sold Xbox Series S's to people just to play Starfield because they didn't have the money to go out and buy a PC. So what are you telling those people? Oh man, they're about to come
back in your store at you.
Oh, they're going to come back. They're going to come in my store. Right.
Where's Shannon?
Yup, exactly. They gonna come looking for me.
You told me
that this game was exclusive. You told
me this is the only way I could play Starfield was over here. I didn't even need this. It's coming to PlayStation in a year.
So that's the problem. The problem isn't the problem isn't the direction. The problem is the decision to not give it a chance to actually do something first. It's like, what are we doing? All of that
You
money
know what?
people gave Xbox, all the time and investment and all of the back and forth. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that, I told people a long time ago, listen, don't buy until they give you a reason to buy. Like, that's the thing that people don't understand. Is so Xbox still to this day, honestly, maybe not this last year, because Starfield was a reason to buy an Xbox if you didn't want to go out and buy a PC. But before that, they really never gave you a reason to truly own an Xbox. This was going to be the first year that they had a chance to prove it to you, because they had a bunch of games coming. And they had Call of Duty that they could market it this year and say that play Call of Duty first, best on Xbox, and all this other crazy stuff that they can do. Now, what can happen is what SloMo said yesterday, which irks me to this day, because the man was right. And I hate saying SloMo's was right. Now,
sure
PlayStation can literally go out there with Xbox with their commercials and say, "Oh, you know that game called Starfield? Yeah, you could play that over here on PlayStation along with all your other favorite PlayStation titles. So why not play over here? The best console to play on." And what can Xbox?
The only console you need.
The only console you need. So how can they fight that?
And what can Xbox say in response to that?
Nothing.
Well, you could play those games first over here, maybe. Like, the thing is, so what I was saying yesterday before about like how even if it was just, and the reason why I said like this was a slippery slope, and this is any of them going was not good, is because the response to this kind of sentiment was that, oh, it's all going, because they already said that they weren't going to do that. So they went back on that already. So they already reneged on their word when they said that like the ZeniMax acquisition was to bring exclusive content to Xbox gamers, and that these games would not go over there. And then when they announced those games, as exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. So you're already going back on your word there. So when people think about that, and then they see that these games are going to PlayStation, even if they were, well, we're not doing Halo, we're not doing Gears, we're not doing Forza, but you're doing these other, like, what makes me think that, like, you already said the games that are coming over weren't going to go over. I don't trust what you have to say, because you're not consistent, and your messaging, it sucks. It's mixed. You say one thing, 2-3 days later, someone's got to come back behind that person who said something and clarify things. None of you are on the same page, and it's clear. But now this is even worse, because it is your big games. What did they say about Starfield? This was the game that convinced us we need to acquire ZeniMax Media.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a big game. This is our biggest game of the year. This game brings reasons, exclusive content to Xbox. This is a part of the Xbox ecosystem. You can't get this anywhere. Whoops. Okay, yeah, you could get this on PlayStation. I mean, it's a year later, but you can get this on PlayStation. Look, we saw the same thing play out with PlayStation and PC. When we heard Horizon Zero Dawn was going to PC, and PlayStation gamers, what did they do? That's not true. They ain't putting their games on PlayStation. Okay. Officially, Horizon Zero Dawn's going to PC. It's just one game. That don't mean anything. They haven't announced anything else. It's just one game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then more games started coming. Then they said it's the whole slate. And Sean Layton has been on the record of saying that, oh, well, we see that there are PC gamers that won't buy a PlayStation. But then we also kind of see that we can kind of like promote our games over there. And if you want to play them first, you know what you got to do? You got to go buy yourself a PlayStation and play them first. Now, you're going to get people like me who are already going to do that regardless.
Yep.
But the majority of PC gamers, They're not doing that. They'll just wait for them to show up on PC. And that's what majority of PlayStation and Switch gamers are going to do when it comes to Xbox games. Just keeping them timed exclusive on Xbox isn't going to grow your platform, because the people that you want to convince to continue to buy an Xbox, you're promoting this, you're marketing this to the people who are your hardcore gamers that are already locked in and buying multiple. They buy Xbox for every TV in the house. You're not marketing this to them. You're marketing this to the other people. It's the reason why they show games at the Video Game Awards. 100 on average, 115 million people live watch the Video Game Awards. All them people ain't Xbox gamers. You show your content there so that you can convince them to buy into your ecosystem. Get Game Pass, get an Xbox or a PC, whatever. But play our games, get our games. They're not going to do that now. When they have the VGAs later this year, people will be looking at whatever Xbox shows and go, "Oh, ooh, Fable. That Fable's looking good. Can't wait to play that on PlayStation." They're not going to say,
real quick,
"I gotta get an
sorry,
Xbox."
I gotta hop off, but
Okay.
it's been good, guys. Let me make sure I tweet the show out. Did you tweet it out, right, Nautical, or
Yeah, it's under me.
Yeah, he did.
is it under DPS or your?
No, I did it under my personal. I just.
Okay. All right, but yeah, thanks for having me. I gave my thoughts, on the matter.
Your thoughts.
Thoughts
And
thoughts.
Down with the betrayer. Down with the false prophet. Phil Atreides, you will suffer for your sin.
Man, I can't wait for this movie, man.
Doing an IMAX.
I can't wait y'all to watch that movie so I could tell y'all about like the how Star Wars stole so much from it. But we can get into that.
You're not gonna get an argument from me. I like this better than Star Wars. So.
But you like quality things, Lucas.
Exactly.
I'm not surprised.
What the hell are you trying to say?
All right, peace.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Good night, Luca. Good night. Forte, man.
Go check her out on their channel, y'all. Most of y'all probably already subscribed.
Yeah, most of y'all probably subscribed, but let me go get her channel, and then I'll put it in the chat real quick. Forte, so let's go down the list of games that we know are rumored to be going to PlayStation, and here we got. Hold on, let me get that right. There we go. That's Lucas' channel. If you guys haven't subbed, so please do so. So there's Hi-Fi Rush. That was one of the first ones, and there was Sea of Thieves. That was another one. Now Sea of Thieves has not been brought up again, but it wouldn't surprise me if it would be the case, because I'd heard that there was actually a build of Sea of Thieves that was already playable and developed for the PlayStation platform. So there's a build out there. They've already did that. Arcade says, you guys have a DPS Twitter. We sure do. Let me go find that real quick.
I'm gonna tweet it. While you're doing, I'm gonna tweet it on there too.
Okay.
Tweet the show out on Twitter too.
Arcade, this is the DPS Twitter account, and we do tweet out when we go live on that as well. So follow that if you can, sir. I appreciate you. So what we got? We got Hi-Fi Rush, which they did an update, and they got the colors, exclusive colored shirts, different shirts for different platforms. We have Starfield, their biggest game, the biggest game that they've released since this new generation started. Can we all agree to that? I think, yeah, and that's going. Some of you guys may really hate to hear this. Forza Horizon 5.
That's such dirt right there, bro.
Forza Horizon 5 on a PlayStation.
No, you do realize that they don't have. That's the thing. There is nothing like that on PlayStation right now. There is people. I know people that literally buy Xboxes because there is no game like Forza on PlayStation when it comes to the arcade open world version of it. Like they got Gran Turismo, but they don't got a Horizon. So you're literally feeling something that PlayStation don't got, which is probably good for them, but it's bad for us.
And they're going to take 30% of the sales off of Forza Horizon 5, 30% off the expansions and all the microtransactions, and they're going to use that to continue to pay developers and publishers to not put games on the Xbox platform.
That's it. Oh man, yeah, that's the thing right there too. Ain't nobody thinking about that part of it.
And you know, and I'm seeing things where people are apparently liking the idea of consoles don't matter. Aren't you a console guy? How do consoles not matter? So what do you go play your games on? Don't give me the BS line. Oh, well, there's, you know, they put their games on cloud and they put their games on PC. You don't own a PC. You talked about how much you hate PC. You don't want to play on cloud. Have you seen the queues, the wait lines for Persona 3 Reload? Shout out to Stone on Twitter, who tweeted out a screenshot of her trying to play Persona 3 Reload on xCloud. The wait time was 95 minutes.
What? Oh my God.
I kid you not, Forte. 95 minutes just to pull the game up. Remember when they used to market that as like, hey, you could play a game through xCloud while you wait for it to install on your Xbox. At this point, you can install the game on 6 Xboxes before they let you into the queue. And once you get in there, the performance is nowhere near as good as natively on your Xbox. So is this the kind of experiences that you're going to claim that you're down for? You don't need consoles. Consoles don't matter. Stop repeating the gaslighting lines in marketing that they're giving you. What they're really saying, you don't matter. They're really saying, hey, we appreciate all the support. We appreciate you buying a Xbox Series X, 2 Series S's for your kids. We appreciate you being subbed to Game Pass. We appreciate you turning down the dollar deals and just paying $17 a month. We love you guys. We appreciate you buying the games. We appreciate you, you know, even though you were going to get Starfield in your Game Pass subscription anyway, you didn't have to spend that money, but because you wanted to play 4 days earlier, you paid $40 more. We love that. Thank you. By the way, you're still not enough. Sorry. We got ABK and we're looking at like, you know, like we're seeing real money now, right? And you're just not enough. So everything that I told you before about how we were doing business and how we were all for you and hey, yeah, rah Xbox Fan Fest, we love you guys stuff. Yeah. Forget all that. Cause we trying to get this paper. Forza Horizon 5 on the PlayStation. Ah man, let's go.
Jesus, man.
Hellblade 2 on PlayStation. I mean, hey, we put Hellblade 1 there. Well, why not? If anybody was planning on buying an Xbox because Hellblade 2 was only going to be on Xbox and PC, not anymore. You know, it's speaking of, and to be real, I've been playing on Xbox since 2001. I remember having the Duke and remember arguing with my friend saying, with me defending the Duke, saying it's a good controller, knowing damn well in my mind it was not a
Man, I
good
don't know what's
controller.
wrong with you, man. I couldn't. Once I got to that S, I never looked back.
I know, man. Once I got to the S, I was in relief. My hands were in relief because my hands was hurting with that Duke. Trying to play Halo on that thing. What were they thinking?
What was they thinking? Like my hands was the size of Michael Penix's hands, 10 inches or
I
something. It
mean,
ain't happening,
good
bro.
grief. I mean, I look, I was there all through the red ring of death and still hanging in there.
Hang in there, man. Hang in there.
But this is beyond. This is the worst decision. If they go through with this, this is literally the worst decision that they've ever made in gaming. And they've made a lot of bad decisions. This would be the worst one. Because it's literally cutting your legs out from under you.
Whew.
Ah, man.
Listen, this do you know this escalated really fast? Like it started yesterday. Semi started yesterday, I should say. The funny thing is, and the thing is, a lot of these publications and a lot of these people like Xbox Air and Tom Henderson, they were sitting on this. They kind of already knew this, and they were just waiting for. They were either waiting for more information to come out, but once Xbox Air went live with it, everybody just started. Man, yo,
I just saw the. I just saw the thumbnail. It's Joe.
It's Jover.
Oh my gosh. Clipper said Singer was not on my ass, man. Whatever. I shut Singer down multiple times. It was actually kind of funny. When Singer was like, "SloMo, you're a PC guy. How are you claiming you're defending the Xbox gamer?" I'm like, Singer, you've been on here on this show for years defending Xbox, and you a PC gamer too. Silence. Complete silence. But shout out to Singer. That's the homie. What he got to say about this this Saturday, it's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be beautiful.
Man, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to how he's gonna combat this because listen, I'm not even gonna try to fight this fight. That's why I'm getting it out the way now by saying, listen, SloMo was right. Now his terms in being right. I mean, you can't take away the man was right, but no, I didn't expect this. This is something like if they would have did this like 2-3 years from now and said that some of these games like Starfield would have came over, I'll feel the same way at that point. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, the game's been out for like 3-4 years. I mean, I still don't like that they're going over there because it kind of seems like you lied to your player base, but it's been 3-4 years. Dog, Starfield ain't even been out. The fact that this is being discussed right now inside of Xbox means, dog, this is always, it seems like this has been planned. It's like they looked at it and said, oh, we already got a PC build of the game. We might as well put it on PlayStation, which makes sense, but oh my God. So you telling me people like, think about it. People like, what's his name left Bethesda, and they were going to probably put the games on PC anyway.
And let me just say this about how this. I really don't appreciate how they doing Sarah Bond with this.
No, sending that black woman out there to fall on the sword. What's up with them with that?
Look, I'm already seeing messages on social media of people saying, "See what you did. You hired this woke woman to run Xbox, and look what's happening." It's, to me, it smacks of people of a different background and demographic not understanding what happens when you put a woman of color in a position of leadership. But to even exasperate that and then have her be the one to deliver this impossible message, There's nothing that she can say to make this right with the Xbox community. There's nothing that she can say that can make this work. And I don't care how well she did on the stand against the FTC. Their arguments were stupid. That was light work for her.
Yeah.
This is a whole different stratosphere. And frankly, from what we're hearing, she's not even on the side of making this decision. So not only does she not agree with it, but she's supposed to be the one to convince us about something that she doesn't even agree with.
No, man. Saudi need to
How
come out
about
there and do this?
Exactly. How about the people who were bold enough to basically make their Microsoft gaming people liars because they said what they were going to do. They were definitive in how they were going to do things with these acquisitions of ZeniMax Media and ABK. And then now they're out here flipping it and not doing those things. You're making them look like liars. How about you come out on the stage and you be the person to deliver that message? Since this is an executive decision, how about you take your executive ass out here and you tell us to our face that you're going to put those games everywhere else. And you try to make it right. You try to explain it in a way that makes any sense, how it benefits Xbox gamers in any way, shape, and form.
Right.
Because it doesn't. It doesn't benefit Xbox gamers a single bit. I mean, they'll try to say stuff like,
did you listen to Tim Dog doing a space right now? If you go into it, he just playing real sad music. It's not even talking.
Shout out to Tim Dog.
It's called "I'm Not an Xbox Fan Anymore." Oh man!
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to be. It's hard to do that. Like your exclusive games is what makes your platform unique. And I know there are people out there that think that consoles are an obsolete platform, that they're on the way out. None of that's true. Consoles aren't, the console market isn't receding. It's not growing at the rate that PC and mobile is growing, but it is not receding. It's barely stagnant. It's actually just growing just a little bit. You can't say that the console market is receding when Nintendo is about to close down on the greatest platform in the console market that they ever, not only that they had ever launched, but the highest sold console, period. So the market's receding when your competition is doing great. The PlayStation 5 is on pace with the PlayStation 4, which did great. Nintendo's about to launch another platform later this year, and we all know when it launches, it's going to sell out. The issues that they have with the Xbox are their issues. They are inconsistent. You launched an Xbox Series X and S with no games. Nintendo launched the Switch with Zelda, Breath of the Wild. PlayStation launched with Miles Morales. You launched with nothing. You launched the Xbox One X with nothing. You followed up having being the best publisher in 2021 with having one AA game to launch the entire year of 2022. Pentiment. And then your only game of the year, and you didn't market it. Check the Xbox account. Look back about how many times they talk about Pentiment. Before it launched, the Xbox Twitter account talked about it one time in response to Obsidian talking about their game. You can't complain about no growth on Xbox when you're the reason there's no growth on Xbox. And when you finally get some content to grow, you decide to just give it all away. It's like when they ran out of rakes to step on, they went to Home Depot and bought more.
Oh man,
This it's
you right.
it's Joe over.
It's Joe over.
Even if they walk this back at this point, what are people going to think? It's only a matter of time. If they walk this back right now, we heard you guys. We discussed it. We admit these were things that we were working on. We're not going to do that. We're not going to put our games on PlayStation. The number of people who believe that, who've heard this, are still going to believe these games are coming to PlayStation eventually. And the Nintendo Switch.
Right.
The Colin Moriartys of the world, I don't need to buy an Xbox. He was saying that even after they came out and said Starfield was exclusive. He kept saying, I'm right, it's eventually going to come to PlayStation. And here we are. Ooh. So even if they walk it back at this point, is he going to believe that he needs to buy an Xbox to play Starfield or build a PC? No. Not at all. Just, it's
So is there any coming back?
No, this is it, man.
That's it.
They already don't do, and I look, I spoke about my history with Xbox because I thoroughly enjoyed, had great experiences playing games on this platform, but there's no coming back from this. Your console doesn't sell great now. You've made some inroads on PC, but you'll never be Steam. The only way for you to really dominate and take control on the PC market is to buy Steam. And the way PC gamers are, go ahead and buy Valve and see how they like that. They'll be championing GOG overnight. The PC gaming market isn't like the console market where they complain about, the PlayStation gamers complain about the prices going up for PSN, but guess what they did? The vast majority of them just accepted it and renewed their subscriptions. I mean, their annual subscription for PSN with 30% price increases and just took it. We all know why the PC gamers don't have an annual subscription to play to play multiplayer games, because they wouldn't pay it.
Right. We
already know why when a game sometimes is $70 on consoles, but it's $60 on PC. They're afraid to piss them PC guys off. Go ahead and let Microsoft buy Valve and see what happens. They'll be liking everybody will be on GOG overnight. There's just no way back from this. If they wanted to really stop this, when Nate the Hate first started talking that talk, they should have spoken on it immediately. That would have been nipping this in the bud. But that's if you weren't really going to do this, or you hadn't already made that decision. At this point now, for them to not speak on this for so long and it to grow like this, let this week go past and they still not speak on it. We know what's up. We know what's up because the same people who have sources, and we know they have sources at Xbox. How is it not one person who we know has sources and knows people at Xbox. Not one of them. Blade says check the audio. Let me see here. No, I think my audio is good. Forte, you hear me good, right? Uh-oh, this might be a Forte issue.
Nope, I just fixed. I see what it was.
What was the problem?
I had my I had a window pop open.
How does that stop the audio?
Not our audio, it's a background audio.
Lord
like background music.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. No, it's just I don't think there's any way back from this, because if this wasn't going to happen, then I think they would have spoken on it by now. But it is going to happen, and I think they are. I think there is some kind of internal battle right now going on. M Max says music. Is there still music playing?
No, it's going.
Okay. I think that there is this civil war going on, this internal battle on it. But the side that is about putting their games everywhere is winning. And it's pretty obvious that that's the case, because they have not said anything about this. Typically, when things get this big and we start seeing games media report this stuff, at this point, we start to get a tweet out there. Aaron Greenberg speaking out, clarifying things. Phil Spencer putting things to rest. We got nothing. Sarah Bond hasn't said anything either. Just because it's true. And they don't know how to break it. But it's like, if it's literally, this is how you're going about things, should this be obvious to you that this is a bad decision? Yeah, this is, but hey. We'll see how it works. Forte, what do you think there's going to be all the games at some point? And okay, answer that question. I got a follow-up question after that. Forte?
No, go ahead. What was the question?
What are you doing?
I didn't know I was still muted when I was talking, and I was like, what did you just say?
I said, what do you think all of their games are going to go?
I mean, dude, if Forza Horizon 5 goes,
and Starfield,
what's stopping everything else from going?
Gears,
what's stopping them from going?
Halo, yeah.
I mean, Halo's the thing that literally is the reason that your console's a thing. So, I mean, are you going to hold anything back at this point? I mean, because now you've shown that you spent, think about it like this. The amount of money they spent to get all of these other IPs is almost, if not equal to what they spent on the games that they have first party already, like their Halo, Gears, and Forza. What's to say that if you're willing to spend all that money and let that stuff go other places, what's to stop us from thinking that those games won't go somewhere else? Because like Pixel G, he says, a lot of people are saying so Forza is a legacy title, but if Forza is on this list, what stops Gears from being on this list? What stops Halo from being on this list? I mean, shoot, Hellblade is rumored to be on this list. So it's like, dude, if I had to take 100, if I had to say with 100% certainty, yes or no, I would say yes. Because if all these other games come, there's no reason these games shouldn't come too at that point. You might as well just put everything over there, because you already kind of destroyed the overall thoughts of what a person would buy an Xbox for. Like, at that point, I would just buy a PC or I buy a PlayStation and just enjoy those games on that platform and be perfectly fine with it. But I just don't see a way that this can be beneficial to them to want to keep. Now, some people are going to say if they came out with a console that still lives up to the part of the people that want to still play on Xbox. But at that point, you're kind of supporting the inferior platform, because you could get a platform that has that and more. And that's the one thing we always talked about, like with Game Pass. It's like the fact that the games were on Game Pass, games were on Xbox, on PC, and you could still take advantage of those games. That's the like allure what PC is. And we told people about if PlayStation ever did something like this and they put all their games on PC, then that would kind of make the PC the de facto best system to have. Now you're basically making PlayStation
now
the best
makes
system to have.
PC been the best place to have.
Yeah, I'm talking about, I said console wise.
Well, okay, yeah.
Well, console wise, because all the games,
console wise,
aren't there
PlayStation
yet.
would be it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Console wise,
yeah. Because PlayStation is going to get their games and the Xbox games either day and date for probably live service stuff, and then the rest eventually. And it's just like if you are cash strapped, because like I kind of feel like, and I'm not trying to shame anyone, but I do kind of feel like that some people don't. They speak ill of PC really to kind of hide the fact that like it's kind of expensive to get the kind of performance that you see PC gamers brag about. I mean, you could build a PC for $1,000 and get really good performance, but that's still way more than what you pay on a console. And to build a PC that can blow the doors off of anything that any of these consoles could dream of doing, you're spending a significant amount of money. And there are just some people who can't dedicate that kind of money. Now, sure, they could save up, right? But that gets into a whole different category of how people do their finances. Regardless, I think a lot of people who have chosen to stay on consoles because it's more cost affordable for them, and they can get a nice little TCL or Hisense that's like $500-$600. That's 4K. It says it does more than 60 hertz, but not really, right? And they enjoy their experiences. And for those people, when you're looking at your budget and you're thinking about the next generation of games, next generation consoles, they're going to have this dilemma where they're going to be looking at like, where there's Xbox and they delivered on games really well for the past 3 years, but all those games eventually came to PlayStation. And then there's PlayStation, who makes very high quality cinematic experiences. Yeah, they may not always be my bag, but I like to dabble there. And I eventually bought a PlayStation to play those first party games. And all the multiplayer stuff I play, 2K, Madden, GTA, FIFA, Call of Duty, it's there too. Yeah, they're probably just going to go buy themselves a PlayStation and keep it a wrap and keep it moving, keep it a buck. And let's go a little step further. People will say, well, what about my digital library? What about your digital library? You bought those games. How often do you play them? Let's be real for a moment. People, my backlog. Why'd you buy games you weren't going to play? And are you really going to play those games at any point in time? People got backlogs of games that came out in like 2020 they still ain't played. If you really wanted to play it, you would have played it by now. And sure, there's some games you may go back to. I go back and play the Mass Effect series like once a year. I play Dragon Age games like once a year. But guess what those games are? They're multi-plats. And I could go, if I only had an Xbox, and I'm like, oh man, I think I might just, buy the PS6. As long as backwards compatibility is there, I could buy those games. and they'll be cheap. It's not like they're not going to be full price $70, $60 games at that point. They're going to be dirt cheap. It's just, I got nothing else to say, man. This is one of those times, and Forte, you know me, I'm a I told you so kind of guy, and I love to tell people I told them so, but this don't feel good.
This don't feel good. That's the thing.
It's just, I don't want to be right about this. Like I do not feel good about this because I think this is bad for gaming overall. We need Xbox to be good. We need Xbox to be competitive. When we don't get that, things are bad. You want to know how bad things can get? Look at the GPU market on PC. That's how bad things can get. Nvidia has 80% market share. Let me repeat that. 80% market share of the GPU market. AMD and Intel combined for 20%. What does that mean? Nvidia launches GPUs and they have, like, for example, the 3080 came out in 2020.
Yep, 2020.
Forte?
Yep, 2020.
It was $800 just for one part, one graphics card. $800.
People lost their minds when that price came, but they like, I couldn't believe that they were giving us that much power for that much of a price.
And then when they launched the 4080, they increased the price $400.
33% increase. Well, no, actually 50% increase.
A $1,200 GPU, and the performance increase was nowhere near worth it. The Nvidia is able to do that because people overwhelmingly buy Nvidia. They have the market domination to set the market to the prices they want. And that 4090 was $1,600. Guess what's going to happen next year in 2025 when they launch the 50 series cards? Forte already knows. That 5090, $2,000.
Yeah, easy.
The 5080 going to be what the 4090's price was. That's what they keep doing. Because the 2080 Ti was $800. Whenever the top card is, the second highest card takes that price the next generation. AMD, they don't compete. When we don't have competition, companies don't care about your they never care about your feelings anyway. So I mean, we can get that, like, they're not your friends. So just get that out of the way. They're not your friends. But like, the all pretense is dropped when they dominate the market. PlayStation increasing the price of PSN with zero benefits whatsoever when PSN Premium wasn't even delivering what they said it was supposed to deliver. It's gonna get worse, man. And that's the stuff that worries me. So no, I'm not happy to say I was right. I wish I was wrong. I would gladly take a L for them to not do this stuff, but they're already doing it, so it is what it is, man. You got anything else to say, Forte, man? I'm kind of spent.
I mean, listen.
Hey, real quick,
go ahead.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please. We would like to grow this channel to the point where DPS Podcast could be only on here every Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would be awesome. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead, Buck. Go ahead, man.
No, listen, I don't know, man. This is just, it's hard because I just feel like it's a lot of unanswered questions, questions that really should have been answered years ago. But now it just seems like I always tell people, do not believe, don't believe in these corporations, don't believe in these companies, don't believe in any of this stuff, because ultimately these companies are about making money. And as much as you say that, you find yourself kind of still attached to it because you like it. You like the ecosystems, you like the people that run it. I was on Destiny and would see Phil Spencer in the tower and wave to him and everything. It's not like he knows who I am, but it just seeing the people that are at the head of your console, the console that you prefer, seeing them in games, seeing them interact with the community, that just kind of brings a great feeling to your heart, because it's like, they get it. And I'm not, and this may not, like I said, this most likely isn't even driven by them. But the fact that they are being overshadowed by the bigger machine that is Microsoft and the people that are making those decisions for them absolutely sucks. And it lets us know that we championed and talked about Activision games coming over to Xbox, coming as part of a Game Pass, and all of these different things. And these are all things that Xbox fans wanted, because you know what? Everybody likes to dunk on PlayStation and say, yo, we got another one. PlayStation ain't gonna have Call of Duty exclusivity no more. Xbox owns them and all this other stuff. We go get it in Game Pass day and date. But ultimately, none of that really matters. None of that matters whatsoever. Everybody that said that now feels absolutely like crap, because the whole narrative changed. And that's kind of what my thought process has always kind of been since the beginning of 2020. Just deal and control the things that you can control. And we can't control what these corporations do. We can't control the directions they go into. We can't control any of that. All we can do is control the amount of time we spend with these platforms and the things that we take from them. And what everybody should take from this is, if it never hits you, it should hit you square in the eyes right now. These corporations don't care about you. It doesn't mean that Phil Spencer doesn't want the best for Xbox. It doesn't mean that Sarah Bond doesn't want the best for Xbox, but that might be completely out of their control. And even if we care about them and the way that they handle their business with Xbox, we still got to remember there's a bigger entity at the top of it that feeds the money to them. And everybody was like, Xbox is finally getting the support from Microsoft that they always wanted. But at what cost? At the cost of all those games that they worked so hard to get, all those partnerships and all of that goodwill from Square Enix, from Sega, getting all these games finally to come over to the Xbox platform. And not only to the Xbox platform, but to put them in Game Pass. To be able to garner all of that support. And then you turn around and tell not only your player base and all your fans, but you're basically telling all of these third-party partners that your console ain't good enough. We can't support not even our own games on a level where we can't just keep them on our own platform. We have to go third party just like everybody else. That doesn't distill any type of anything when it comes to the third party. They're like, they probably don't care because they're just making money anyway. But your goal should be to foster a community of gamers, a community of people that want to play and rock with your platform like they did back in 2020, in 2001, I should say, when the new Xbox first came out and you were able to usher in a brand new version of gaming with Xbox Live and putting an Ethernet port on the back of a console for the first time ever, when everybody thought you were crazy. When you were able to have online voice chat with people and make it seamless through broadband. And, as much as we hated the Kinect, but it was like one of the most successful peripherals ever. And you found a way to get other people into your game that would never play like Nintendo did. These are all things that you, Microsoft, and Xbox did. and we threw it all away in the course of one generation. Started with the whole TV conversation, even knowing if you look at where we are now with gaming, where you look at it now, all that stuff is super relative now. You know,
Yo, they used to get free marketing from so many Xbox fans who were YouTubers who were dedicated to the platform. Do you know these same content creators are rebranding now? It's not a joke. They're rebranding. They are changing the focus of their podcast. That you just like that can't be quantified with your metrics. Microsoft executive, you couldn't quantify how the people that you didn't even pay and all they wanted was your appreciation for providing content for them were out there pushing your platform. And in my opinion, better than you did because you suck at marketing. That's gone. And frankly, it should be gone. We have to stop. And look, I love King, right? And King's awesome. Hold the line. That blew up and it was crazy. But hold the line when it makes sense. Hold the line right now don't make sense. What makes sense is that you make a decision.
Don't make sense, and I love King.
What makes sense now is you make a decision for you. When you believe, when they say we acquired ZeniMax Media so that the games that they create are here on your platform. And look, if you love those games, there's no other place to get those games. They're going to be here in PC. But you don't care about PC. So they're here on Xbox. And then you find out they're not just here on Xbox. When they said, hey, look, we're doing VR. And then, yeah, we found our community doesn't want VR. For the people that still wanted VR, what you mean? Did you talk to me? Because I still want VR. When you talked about ABK and when you were pressed on where your games were going, you said, hey, look, we're keeping Call of Duty everywhere. You didn't say anything about the rest of your games going everywhere. You really, like, as an Xbox gamer, you should really look at like where everything's going and say, hey, look, is it so bad on PC? Is it so bad updating my firmware? Doing Windows updates? I mean, I can get what I want. I don't have to worry about the next exclusive coming out at 30 frames per second. Or any game being played at 30 frames per second. Hey, is PlayStation that bad? I could get used to how party chat's different. Like these are the things that you have to kind of weigh. Talk to your friends who game. Hey, this is what they doing. You still want a game over here? You want a game over there? Or even if the games that you always play with your friends have crossplay, you don't even need to ask them. Discord is the thing on both platforms. Hook up in Discord. You play wherever you want to play. What I'm saying is that, and I'm not telling people to not play on Xbox no more. I'm saying, hey, look, make that. But you should be open to that kind of decision. You should be open to where you want to play and what you feel comfortable with. I know there are people out there that, you know, and I've spoken to some that have been like, this doesn't, they are console Xbox gamers and like, this doesn't affect me. Because I wasn't going to go to PlayStation. And I'm still getting these Xbox games here first. And yeah, you're right. This might really adversely affect in how third parties choose to work with Xbox. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, and that's fine. Everyone's got to make this decision for themselves. but don't feel like you need to have some kind of loyalty to a label, loyalty to a brand, when the people who run the brand don't have loyalty to it or to you. It's not worth it. They don't deserve the amount of time that you put in on it. Give your time to somebody else or something else. So that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah, that's pretty it, man. We, cool thing. I wanted to go live because this was too big not to go live, to at least have a conversation. I mean, and plus, by the time Thursday comes around, there'll be so much more stuff to talk about. I'd rather get this part of it out the way, the shock and all of it, and let the podcast on Thursday be about what the response on Xbox is probably going to be to this, and the direction that we think everything should go, depending on what they say in that response. Because I do expect to see something within the next 24 to 48 hours. It definitely needs to be, by the time we wake up tomorrow, there should be an Xbox Wire post that's basically either going over what the plans are with Xbox going forward, or them completely rolling this back. One of those two things are going to happen. So we had about 51 people here today on just a random stream, and we really appreciate that. And you guys are awesome. Make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. We're definitely trying to grow this channel to get it to where it needs to be, so we can start bringing DPS to you exclusively on this channel. But with that being said, where I am, Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. DPS will be on my channel this week, and then we will do the final topic as we've been doing the last couple of weeks over here on the Damage Per Second podcast channel. So make sure you sub so you don't miss that. SloMo, what you got going on for the rest of your glorious weekend night and going through the week?
I was going to do Stream 7, the Final Fantasy 7 remake, a game that skipped Xbox, by the way, on my PC. But I think I'll do that tomorrow. So I'll do that tomorrow, and then try to make up for extra streams throughout the week, because I want to make sure that I finish it before Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which comes out on the 29th of this month, now on Xbox. Comes out now, and we're all set and we're all ready for that. I did want to leave with quoting a tweet from Paul Tassi. I just retweeted because I think it's spot on, like absolutely spot on. He said he quote retweeted his first tweet from 3 hours ago saying, "This is the most embarrassing shit I've ever seen." And he was talking in regards to the report that Indiana Jones was going to PlayStation 5. And then he followed that up by saying, "Nope, stand by this. If you're Microsoft, it shows you have no faith in the Xbox ecosystem, goes counter to all Game Pass claims, throws your fan base into chaos with no public comment. It's not just waving the white flag, it's shooting them out with a t-shirt cannon."
Yo, listen, yeah. I like Paul. And I be sometimes having some issues with some of the stuff, the way that he reports things, but that's spot on. That's spot on.
Absolutely spot on.
Absolutely spot on. Because the biggest thing is you're not just affecting. It's like you're not saying anything. That's
you said nothing.
Nothing.
And you're just allowing it to run rampant. And all they're doing is like more people keep coming up and saying things. They're digging and they're finding more information. And meanwhile, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Your message hasn't come out yet. Yeah, you're asking for this.
Yeah, definitely.
You're asking for it.
Absolutely. Well, so where can they find you, bro?
SloMoBackSlap on everything. That's on Twitter. That's on YouTube. That's on TikTok. That's on Twitch. That's on OnlyFans feed pics. That's everything.
And Instagram. And everything.
Instagram-ish. Yeah. Yep. SloMoBackSlap.
All right, guys.
Instagram-ish.
Instagram is Shout out to all the love and support, guys. Shout out to Xbox not saying anything, and making it all this craziness possible today. Let's hope they fix it tomorrow. With that, we will see you guys on Thursday, 9 p.m. And 8 p.m. CST. 6
Come back
p.m.
tomorrow
Eastern.
for the tomorrow for the Final Fantasy VII remake stream. I'll probably be discussing all the other games that will be coming out on PlayStation by then. So yeah.
Facts, right. All right, guys. We see you guys later. Appreciate you guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.
Peace.
We're out.